Hello and welcome to the Morning Market Call, brought to you by the BYU Graduate Finance Association. My name is Tim Hart. I am your host today, and I am joined by Greg Lee, a fellow host of the Morning Market Call.
It's fun to be in this chair, Tim.
I'm sure it is.
It's fun to be in this chair.
And also a crazy Oklahoma football fan.
Not quite as crazy as Matthew Harrison, but I am an Oklahoma fan. That's true.
Fair enough. And today, an expert on the government's role in the economy.
I like to think I'm an expert in a lot of things.
I like to think
I'm
that's
wrong.
false. Yeah, no, that's not even close to true.
Yeah, okay.
So here we go. Is government a good thing in terms of it being involved in the economy?
Actually, having the government involved in business in general is a great thing. We absolutely need government involvement. Without government intervening, the rule of law, without enforcing contracts, having the judicial systems and everything else, you really can't have business work. So
Okay.
a perfect example, I guess, is music piracy or video game piracy, software piracy.
Yeah, music piracy, that's a big problem in Somalia, I understand, with the pirates.
Yeah, that piracy is a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
A little
sorry.
bit different.
Oh, I guess I misunderstood that. Fair, keep going.
But piracy is a major concern, and with piracy, you want rules being enforced, that people actually need to pay for products. That encourages more development and things.
Excellent. Okay, and so government involvement is always good.
You know that's not true, and
No.
I also know that's not true.
Was that a leading question?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Government involvement is a good thing, but not always. And especially when you're changing the rules in the middle of the game, that's almost always a bad thing. Changing the rules on people always creates additional unanticipated problems. So,
Raises the cost of doing business.
absolutely. It absolutely increases the risks.
And I know you're dying to give examples.
I definitely want to. My dad worked for Mobil Oil in the 1980s, and they built a new refinery in Venezuela. As soon as it was built for billions of dollars, the Venezuelan government promptly reneged on their contract and nationalized it. So how much growth do you think that spurred in Venezuela over the coming years? No one was willing to invest anymore.
Got it. And then you wanted to talk a little bit about the role that the government should play ideally.
Absolutely. Government should be doing simple, fair things to encourage business growth. All of the rules need to be, again, both simple and fair, applying the principle of Occam's razor. The simplest solution is usually the best. The simpler and more fair things are, the easier it is for people to decide actually where they want to invest, what the risks are, and then move forward, and that stimulates growth.
Okay, but let's go down like the healthcare path, for example,
Okay.
the current debate of healthcare. Okay. In that particular case, most people are arguing that somehow that marketplace is fundamentally different than other marketplaces, and therefore the government's role should be more involved because it's a different type of product. There's a bigger moral component to it. What do you say to that?
There may be a larger moral component, although I think that would be a tough case when you're considering some other industries that directly impact our safety, like airlines, automobile manufacturing, things like that also. But really, I think what it comes down to is the current problems we have in healthcare are a result of previous government intervention. For good or ill, as you keep changing the rules, that creates other problems. So specifically right now, the government is trying to decide which parties are going to be negatively affected. As it looks right now, if we have healthcare reform, politicians obviously get a big lift. Pharmaceutical companies are going to be hurt. The healthcare industry, with regards to insurance, is definitely going to be hurt also. Government workers and things will be benefited, more jobs for them. The real question, I guess, is it comes down to the end consumer, and is it really better for us? And rather than getting into all the political aspects, that's just the question.
Yeah, it's one example of the key complication of how big the role of government.
Exactly. There's
should
always
be.
winners and losers. So.
Okay. Well, and I have my opinion, but we'll save that for another day. And
Fair enough.
Thank you for being with us, Greg, the government expert.
Yes.
That's an overstatement.
Ish.
Thank you all for joining us on the Morning Market Call.
Market Call is a production of the Marriott School of Business at Brigham Young University and is made possible by generous donations from Larry Tasjan and Gary Williams. This webcast was produced by Greg Lee, Tim Hart, Julie Kellett, and Jonathan Marugi.